Good morning, everybody. It is a wonderful, wonderful day here out on this peninsula and at the University of Massachusetts, Boston. I'm so grateful to be in your presence. I'm Keith Motley, and I'm honored to be the chancellor of this university. We're so pleased to welcome all of you here to this special event. You know, I've been hearing all morning about all of the people who wish they could be you today. Wanted to be in this room. Some will be in other rooms as the morning goes on, and so we're so grateful to have the opportunity to be a part of this wonderful opportunity to bring such a special guest and person to you today. Since the founding of this university, the University of Massachusetts, Boston, this university has chosen to actively and collaboratively engage with our community, both our local community and our global community. We speak here of our community as being multi-bordered. We take pride in welcoming friends from around the world to this campus, whether they are students, faculty, staff, or esteemed speakers like we have today. We seek to learn from one another, make connections, and to gain knowledge about our world made even smaller by the growth in technology. We are so pleased this morning to partner with the organization Maya Kishi to host today's address by Dr. Rigoberta Menchu. Organization Maya Kishi represents thousands of members of the Maya Kishi ethnic group now residing in New Bedford that fled Guatemala in the 1980s and 90s due to the imminent dangers of civil war and genocide. Dr. Rigoberta Menchu, a 1992 Nobel Prize laureate, UNESCO Goodwill Ambassador, is known for encouraging collaboration among local, national, and international human rights organizations in order to denounce human rights violations committed against Native American populations. Her book, which I saw everybody had in their hand today, I, Rigoberta Menchu, is read in classrooms everywhere. On behalf of the University of Massachusetts, Boston, we welcome her, we celebrate her, and we also welcome today's exchange of ideas. We're a community of many perspectives here, and we're very proud of that. Many languages, many cultures, many interests brought together by the genuine desire to learn, serve, and contribute to the greater good of this university, this community, and to this world. This is not just something we do today. This is something that we strive to do all of the time here in this university community. So today, we start with this wonderful Nobel laureate, but then we grow all day by bringing others on this campus who are making a contribution throughout the world as well. So, to you, welcome. Know this is your university. Come back to this university anytime you want. Because it is yours, the doors are open. And without further ado, I'd like to move forward in the program and just thank you for your presence and thank you for the opportunity to learn with you today. Have a wonderful day.
Y con ustedes la doctora Menchu.
Él tiene que hablar.
Sí, lo tenemos una traductora.
Good morning and welcome. Buenos días. Buenos días. My name is Jorge Capetillo Ponce. I am presently the Director of Latino Studies and Associate Professor of Sociology here at UMass Boston. I want to begin my brief intervention by saying the following. Uts, Petik, Lanan, Min, Menchu Tum. I hope I pronounced it right. It means in the Maya Quiche language, welcome Rigoberta Menchu Tum. And we're indeed honored to have her today with us, the human rights activist, 1992 Nobel Prize laureate, and UNESCO Goodwill Ambassador, who is also a world-renowned author. We were talking last night about her children's books that she's been writing. She's the head of her own international foundation, and she was also the recent presidential candidate in her native Guatemala. I just want to say something about our involvement with the organization Maya Quiche, which is the organizer of today's event, along with the Office of the Chancellor and the Latino Studies Program. We also want to thank the following departments and institutes for sponsoring this presentation: the Department of American Studies, the Anthropology Department, the College of Public and Community Service, the Dispute Resolution Department, the McCormick Graduate School of Policy Studies, the Gaston Institute, Hispanic Studies, Latino Studies, Labor Department, Institute for Learning and Teaching, the Native American Association, the Sociology Department, the William Joyner Center, and the Women's Studies Program. On Tuesday, March 6, 2007, more than 300 armed immigration and customs enforcement agents arrested 361 presumed undocumented immigrant workers at the Michael Bianco factory in New Bedford, Massachusetts. More than half of the workers detained were from Guatemala, the majority belonging to the Maya Quiche community, an ethnic group which began its arrival to the city during the late 1980s and early 1990s, at the height of a violent confrontation in Guatemala between an increasingly militarized state and predominantly Mayan civilians. The raid had an immediate impact on the Maya Quiche community of New Bedford as a whole, particularly in such areas as mental health, economic well-being, legal standing, and intergroup relations in the city. We put together a team from UMass Boston headed by Gisela Abreu and myself, and became involved almost immediately with the organization Maya Quiche USA, or OMK, the only organized expression of the Maya Quiche community to emerge in New Bedford over the last decade, and a group that took a leadership role in the aftermath of the raid. We arranged a meeting with them in early May 2007. At that time, we also gathered relevant data, and with this initial information and further contacts with OMK, we designed a research project which was awarded 3 small grants by UMass Boston Healy Program, by the Gaston Institute, and by the Sociological Initiatives Foundation. The project started in September 2008. A key objective from the outset was to connect our research plan with the goals of our partner institution in this project, the organization Maya Quiche. Thus, besides obtaining relevant data for our study, our research has been designed with OMK's interest in upgrading its institutional capabilities. This means that in addition to sharing all findings and relevant data with OMK and inviting its members to participate in all related academic and community events, our partnership has included evaluation of fundraising strategies, interpersonal relations, and day-to-day operations. It has been a unique learning and human experience collaborating with the organization Maya Quiche. We want to welcome the members of this organization that are here with us this morning, as well as members of the Maya Quiche community of New Bedford. We have here with us Aníbal Lucas, Genaro Maric, Domingo de León, Manuel Ruiz, Francisco Ruiz, Francisco García, Adrián Ventura, Irma Pérez, Edgar Yack, Norma Ayala, and also we have here Father Fallon and Kevin Whaley, who had been also 2 persons that have been very close, related to helping and working and collaborating with the Maya Quiche. So we also have, let's see, we also have here with us the General Consuls of Guatemala, El Salvador, Mexico, Dominican Republic, and Venezuela. Before I present the director of the organization Maya Quiche of New Bedford, Aníbal Lucas, I just want to remind you that this week, this Wednesday, April 9th, and Thursday, April 8th, and Thursday, April 9th, UMass Boston is hosting an international conference on immigration In addition to the presentation of recent research by scholars from different countries, we will have 3 student forums and 1 special panel on the immigration machine, as seen by officers of national and international agencies, as well as grassroots organizations. We have been distributing the program this morning, but if anyone needs one program, please let me know. Without delay, I want to present Aníbal Lucas. Thank you.
Muy buenos días, muchas gracias por la oportunidad y quiero también agradecer al señor rector de la universidad que nos dio la oportunidad acá de estar aquí con ustedes. También a Jorge, se me olvida el nombre de todo el grupo, pero me pido disculpas y les quiero agradecer de todo corazón, de verdad. Y yo soy Aníbal Lucas, yo creo que lo dije anterior, y como director de la organización Maya Quiché, pues me ha estado difícil para mí de aprender el inglés. Hago programas de inglés con nuestra comunidad, pero yo no tengo tiempo para estudiar. Así es que el segundo idioma español, pues ahí voy aprendiendo poco a poco. Ojalá que termine mi high school, pero no estoy en la escuela tampoco. Así es que muchas gracias y espero pues dejar a ¿quién te toca?
Good afternoon. Buenos días. My name is Gisela Abreu, and I'm assistant to the Chancellor for a special project. And I'm very proud that all of you are here. My job was pretty much bringing all of you together for this marvelous event. But I would like to, before I introduce the provost, is to give an opportunity to recognize the organization who is responsible for bringing Dr. Menchu today, the Maya Quiché. Aníbal, can you stand up, please? He's the person who has been working a lot for the immigrant community, from the indigenous community that are here. And because of him and the work he has delivered, try to support our community, is that why we have Dr. Menchu today. The idea is to really present what are the issues and also to highlight this organization whose the only thing they try to do is to advocate for the rights of the indigenous community. Today, struggling, with support because we have economic crisis, we bring her with the willingness that people will support this organization in the future. So Aníbal today can and say, Giselle, how can people help to make this happen? Today we want your support. Not with the fundraising campaign that they're doing, but it's try to contact this organization and make sure that when we say we need donations, so we bring not Dr. Menchu, other leaders that we're gonna be also advocating for this right, you support them. Today we're gonna have the information on the desk all about this organization, and we would like your support, and anyone who wants to do any contribution in the future, Aníbal will be there and also giving the information. And the account and all the information about her work is also in the brochure that is at the table. Aníbal, ¿te quieres decir algo más?
No, gracias.
Okay. Well, thank you. So without... Dr. Winters landed? Okay, go ahead. Okay, thank you. So once again, so for those who doesn't, the presentation will be in Spanish. So it will be your time for you to really engage in the culture and practice. So, but on the other side, we have a headphones for those who need it, and we're gonna have a simultaneous interpretation. If it's anybody doesn't have the headphone, please raise your hand, and we're gonna have somebody assisting you with that today. But further than that, we're gonna talk this opportunity to introduce Dr. Dr. Kim Ollie, who's going to introduce Dr. Menchu. Huh? Did you see how I work with him?
Okay, Giselle is one of my Chancellor Fellows. And I met with her, and she told me, do not walk up on the stage and do what you normally do. Do what you want to do, start the program when you want to start it. I was not supposed to speak to you until now. So what I was supposed to say to you was, we're so honored to have the kind of collaboration that we have with the kinds of organizations that are represented here today. I was supposed to welcome our senator here and say thank you for being here as well. The consulate. I was supposed to tell you that we have a tremendous amount of faculty in the audience because we have the best faculty in the world right on this campus, and they come from so many unbelievable places.
Yes.
I was supposed to tell you that we have the councils from everywhere here. Mexico and where else?
Venezuela.
Venezuela, Dominican Republic. They are here in the house today. El Salvador, we have them here from everywhere. Okay?
Guatemala.
And Guatemala, of course. Okay? I was supposed to be the one to get you all pumped up. I was going to tell you you have an experience today because if you don't want to put on headphones, then you have a chance to learn a beautiful language and to hear it because you'll feel it through the presence of our guests today. You won't need headphones if you can't understand the language. You will know because her passion, her concern, her work speaks for itself and will take on unbelievable magnitudes in this room, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Today's your opportunity to learn from each other. Today's your opportunity to hear from someone who is an unbelievable scholar, one who's committed her life to human rights. And so, without further ado,
It's a pleasure for us to introduce Dr. Rigoberta Menchu.
yes.
¿Me miran?
See? All right.
Yo creo que voy a tener que decir. I am very...
Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. Yo...
Vamos a ver si conseguimos un micrófono que sea portátil.
Ok. ¿Me miran ustedes? Yo no los veo. Okay. Welcome. Thank you for this opportunity today to stay with you because this is a beautiful day in our Mayan calendar. This day is one energy for the Kan. Kan is the authority. Kan is the link between the cosmos energy, and our mother land. This is a two very important energy for our day. But I need an interpreter because I am very shy. I don't speak English. Ah, es simultánea.
Están traduciendo simultáneo.
Excelente, eso sí. Primeramente quiero hacer un reconocimiento
to recognize
al doctor
Dr.
Kit,
Kit.
¿verdad? Me costó aprender su nombre.
It took me a while to learn your
al
name, you
Dr.
know.
Kit
Dr. Kit
Motley.
Motley.
Gracias por
Thank you so much
la hospitalidad.
for your hospitality.
Gracias por la
Thank you for
invitación
inviting
a
me
esta
to
universidad.
this university.
Vengo con mucho
And I
entusiasmo.
come here with a great deal of
Y luego
enthusiasm.
quiero
And I
agradecer
also want to
aquí a
thank
mis hermanos mayas.
my Mayan brothers and sisters.
Chelatat, Shpealach Cherhun Iri, Sablach Kemaltioshich, Cheru Kushkach, Kushulew, Shokeki Maltioshich, Chiker Kamam Katit, Shkiyar Kachokap, Shkiyar Kaslamat, Shakur Malri, Okora Cherhun Iri, Nimlach Maltiosh Chelatat, Aníbal Maltiosh Chelash, Chikunalak, Ishawalak Pakawi, y Chico Tokoural, Maltiosh Chela, Shpealach Cherhun Iri. Sablachnim Raklan, Kayar Katzich, Chikiwatch, Shuwachulev, Chikiwatch Winak, Chikut Sablachkin, Shinkamla on Rutzai, Wachalak, Cherpatinimit Hala, Kiche. También quiero
I also
agradecer
want to thank
profundamente la presencia
very
de
deeply
todos los
your
llamados
presence,
chapinas,
all the so-called
los
chapinas,
guatemaltecos
all the
y las
Guatemalan
guatemaltecas.
women and men who are here present.
Primero,
First of all,
me alegra
I-
este encuentro.
I am very pleased to be here
puede unir
because
más.
it can
Nos
unite
puede
us
hacer
even
uno
more.
solo hacia
It
el
can
futuro.
make us one towards
Y,
the future.
En primer lugar,
And first of all,
nuestros compatriotas
our
son
compatriots
los primeros
are the first
llamados
ones
a ser solidarios
called
con los mayas.
to be in solidarity with the
Porque
Mayans,
los mayas,
because the Mayan people,
Nos confunden en todas partes.
they get us wrong
A veces nos llaman
everywhere.
latinos,
Sometimes they
nos
call them
llaman nos
Ladinos,
llaman,
they call
eh,
us
y lo peor
all sorts of
es que
things.
mucho
And the
momento
worst things is that
nos
often
quitan todo la
they
civilización milenaria.
take away, they
nos
rob our
ponen simples
millenary
migrantes.
civilization and they call us immigrants. But in
En
fact,
realidad los mayas
the Mayan
no
people,
somos migrantes,
we're
somos
not immigrants,
refugiados.
we're refugees.
Nos hemos refugiado
We
en otro
have
lado
refugees
en espera de que algún
in
día
wait
tengamos
to
la
somehow
plenitud de la
one
vida
day
que consigue, que
have the
desean
fullness of
pueblos
life
y poder vivir
that we
allá,
desire
allá donde
and be
tenemos la
able to
energía
live,
cósmica,
where we have our
allá
cosmic
donde tenemos
energy,
las
where we
montañas,
have our mountains,
ríos,
where we have our
allá
rivers,
donde está la
where
tierra nuestra.
we have our land.
Por eso es
And that's why
importante
it's so
para todos los
important
guatemaltecos
for all
y
Guatemalans
guatemaltecas
of
ser
both
solidarios
genders
con los mayas.
to be
aquí en
live in
los Estados
solidarity
Unidos.
with Mayans in the
También
United
los mayas nos
States.
ha costado
We Mayans also
vivir
had
en otro país
to live
porque
in other
cargamos
countries
esa civilización milenaria.
because, and we have
donde quiera que
wherever
estemos,
we are, we still
esa
keep
civilización nos pesa
our ancient civilization
porque
that
tenemos
weighs
que
in our
mantener
shoulders
lo
because
más profundo
we have to
de nuestra
maintain
identidad.
the
Entonces,
deepest roots
pido
of
la
our
solidaridad
identity.
de
So I'm
todos los
asking you,
compatriotas,
our compatriots, for
pero también pido la
solidarity.
solidaridad
But
de
I'm
los
asking
amigos,
asking
hermanos nuestros de
solidarity
Centroamérica.
of our brothers and sisters from
En
all over Central America.
tenemos
In Central
una región
America, we have a
bastante
region
sufrida
that has
porque ha
suffered a
vivido
great deal
las
because
convulsiones
we had
sociales, las
social
guerras, los conflictos,
unrest, we had conflict,
ha vivido
we
los
had wars,
despojos, ha vivido
we
los
have been
desequilibrios
pillaged, we have
más
been
ingratas y
lived
más crueles
the cruelest
de este fin de era, el fin de era
issues of
que
this end
anunciaron
of an
nuestros
era
abuelos mayas.
that was announced by
Pero,
our Mayan
por eso
ancestors,
mismo tenemos
and
que
that is
ser
why
más humanos,
we have to be more
más
human.
solidarios,
We have lived in
y ser ejemplo
solidarity,
de lucha
and we have to
por
be an
las
example
causas
of
universales.
struggle for universal
Y una de
causes.
las causas
And one of the
universales
universal
es la
causes
lucha contra el hambre.
is the fight against
El
hunger.
hambre
Hunger
mata a nuestros pueblos.
kills our people.
Solo en Guatemala
Only
tenemos
In Guatemala
2
alone,
millones,
we
más de
have
2
over
millones y medio
2.5 million
que
Guatemalans
viven la desnutrición
who
crónica.
are malnourished, chronically
Esa
malnourished.
desnutrición
That
crónica
chronic
que mata
malnourishment
la
kills
energía,
the
la
energy
fuerza
and the
de los más
strength
pequeños de nuestra
of the
sociedad.
youngest of our people, our
Pero ese
society.
más de
But
2
that
millones y medio de
2.5
niños y niñas
but the great number of
Les juro que
little
son el
girls and boys,
95%
they
de
are
ellos son
95
mayas.
of them, 95 of those
Son los
malnourished children are
herederos
Mayans, and they are
igualmente de
the
esa gran
heirs
civilización.
of that great civilization.
Aparte de todo esto,
Aside from all that,
el refugio, los conflictos nos causó daños
we
muy
were
fuertes
damaged
que vulneró
uh,
la sociedad en
in
su
our
totalidad.
society, but all the conflicts.
Vulneró el tejido social,
It damaged the social
causó
fabric.
discordias,
It caused
causó
unrest, discord,
confrontaciones,
confrontations,
y sobre todo
and above all,
no hemos superado
we
el
have
miedo.
not overcome our
El
fear,
miedo de
the
perder la vida,
fear to
el
lose our
miedo de
lives,
perder la familia,
to lose our
el
families,
miedo de perder
to
la
lose
comunidad,
our
el
community,
miedo de hablar,
the fear
el
to
miedo,
speak
miedo
up,
de opinar,
the
el
fear to
miedo
express our
de
opinions,
atreverse.
and to dare.
Es increíble
It is amazing
los recuerdos, digamos, que dejan
of what
los conflictos
all
armados.
these conflicts leave behind.
Eso es
armed
muy
conflicts.
importante que nosotros
It is
veamos
very
que
important
la
for us
guerra
to notice,
no
to
solo es
see
la
that the
guerra
girl,
cuando se
the
está
war,
haciendo la
it's not
guerra.
the war when it's happening, when the
Porque
war
cuando
is
se hizo la
taking
guerra en
place.
Guatemala,
When the war happened in
tuvimos
Guatemala,
50,000
we had
desaparecidos.
50,000 disappeared.
50,000 desaparecidos, si
50,000
las juntáramos
disappeared.
todos,
If we got them all
tendrían de todas
together,
las edades,
it would be of
tendríamos
all
de todos los
ages,
colores,
all colors,
tendríamos de todas las fuerzas energéticas
all
del
energy
planeta.
sources of the
Pero también
planet.
tuvimos
But we also
200,000
had
víctimas,
200,000 victims,
asesinados,
murdered,
torturados,
tortured,
que aún
that
muchos de ellos
many of
están
them
en fosa común.
now are buried in a
Entonces,
common grave.
Ese
And-
impacto de la
And that
guerra.
impact of the war
Pero cuando terminó la guerra,
itself, but when
todos
the war
pensaron que
ended,
terminó todo.
we thought, well, everything
Y
is
ahora
alright.
vendrían los guatemaltecos
And
a
now
vivir la
Guatemalans
felicidad
will
plena.
live fully and
Cuando
happily ever after, when
No se puso atención a la
there
posguerra.
was no attention
La
paid
posguerra es
to
más
post-war.
doloroso
And post-war sometimes is
todavía
even more
que la
painful
propia
than the
guerra,
war itself,
porque
because
se matan de un jalón, sino
they don't kill you all
te
at
matan
once,
poco a poco,
but they kill you slowly.
porque empezaste
because
a buscar los tuyos,
You start looking for
empezás a
your
ver dónde
family,
están,
your people,
etcétera, o
and
tenés
so
que
forth,
ocultar
or
el pasado a tus hijos,
you have to tell the past to
o
your children,
los que ocultaron el
or
pasado
those
a
who
sus hijos.
hid the past to
Ahora
their
sus hijos
children.
tienen que
Now
enterarse
their
por sí
children
mismos.
have to know on
Es
their
más
own,
doloroso,
and that's even more
porque yo
painful,
he encontrado
because
jóvenes
I have
que me
seen
dicen, se
people
dice que mi tío
who say, well, they
fue
tell
muy
me
malo,
my son,
pero yo
my
nunca supe
uncle
eso.
was very bad, but
Se dice
I was
que mi
never
papá
told that. They
estaba
tell me
envuelto en la
my
guerra, y
father
yo no
was
sabía.
involved in the war, and I
Y
was
yo
not
no sé
aware of that.
Si
I
de
don't
verdad fue
know.
malo o fue
I
bueno,
don't
esa
know
es la
if the
interrogación
people
de
were
los
good or
hijos
bad,
a los padres,
and that is what the children
porque se
asked their
ocultó la
parents,
verdad.
because the
Entonces,
truth
toda
was
esa
hidden.
posguerra
So all that post-war
nos invita
invites
a
us
ser
to
personas integrales.
become
Nos invita a
whole
ser
people,
gente de lucha.
to be people for a
Nos invita
struggle,
a ser gente de
to
conciencia.
be people with
Y
a
por eso
conscience,
el
and that
futuro
is why
también está en
the
nuestras
future
manos.
is also in our sisters
aprendí a
and brothers.
decir
I
Que la lucha
learned
por
to say that the
el futuro no es
struggle
mañana,
for our future,
sino es
our
hoy, es
is
ahora.
not tomorrow, is now.
No se vale decir,
We-
no, algún día voy a luchar.
We
No,
can't say, no,
señor,
one day
hoy
I'll
tenemos que
struggle.
luchar.
No, you have to
No
struggle
algún día.
today, not someday.
Por eso a mí me
And
alegra
that's
mucho estar
why
aquí con
I'm
ustedes,
so pleased to be
con el
here
respaldo
speaking to
de
you
esta gran
with the backing
universidad,
of this great
por los hermanos
university,
Mayaquiche
with the
ahí
Mayaquiche
enfrente, que
brothers
me
and
emociona
sisters.
muchísimo, porque ellos
And I'm
existen,
very moved
porque
that
ellos
they
donde quiera que
exist.
van,
Wherever they
van a
go,
llevar
they are
consigo
going to carry with
esa
them
herencia
that
milenaria de nuestros
millenary
ancestros.
heritage of our
Y con
ancestors,
todos
and
ustedes,
with all of
gentes
you,
multicolor
with people,
y
multicolored
multilingüe que
people,
están aquí,
multilingual who are
los
here,
felicito
and
mucho.
I congratulate you.
El día de hoy,
Today,
nuestro sagrado calendario maya
in our sacred
es una
Mayan
energía del
calendar,
Jaucán.
has the energy of
El
Jaucan.
Jaucán
Jaucan
es la unión de
is
dos
a
energías.
union of two
La
energies.
energía
The
cósmica,
cosmic energy,
o sea, la fuerza
the
del
force,
sol,
the
de la
sun,
luna. Y por
the
cierto,
land,
quiero
the moon.
preguntarles,
And I want to
¿dónde
ask
sale
you,
el sol aquí?
where does the
Por favor,
sun
me
come out
indiquen
here?
¿dónde sale el sol?
Tell me where the sun comes out in this place. Where?
Muy pocos saben o es que no
You
saben.
don't know, or what is the problem here? Where does the sun comes out?
Gracias por los atrevidos que saben
Well,
dónde sale
thank
el
you
sol.
for those people who dare tell me, who know where the sun comes up.
La energía de hoy
Today's
es-
energy,
son las energías cósmicas
cosmic energy,
y su
and
unión con la
the
energía
union
de la madre.
with the energy of Mother Earth.
Somos
We
producto de la
are
tierra
a product
y
of the
productos
earth
de las energías
and a
cósmicas.
product of
Por
cosmic
eso el ser
energies,
humano somos
and that is
energía.
why we human beings are energy.
Somos como una
We
planta.
are
Si
like a
ustedes ven
plant. If you see
una mata de frijol,
a little
bueno, si todavía
bean plant,
siembran frijol.
well, if you're still planting beans around here, I
Van
don't
a
know.
ver que el
But you
frijol
will see that
no
the
se enrolla
bean
así
does
como el
not go
reloj
around like that,
gregoriano,
like
sino se enrolla de
but it
esta
goes
manera
the other way,
como el reloj
counterclockwise,
maya. ¿Por qué?
like
Porque
the
los
Mayan
mayas
clock. Why?
dedicaron
Because
muchos
Mayans
miles
took
de años
thousands of
de
years
su observación de su
to
vida,
observe,
siguiendo las energías
to follow the cosmic
entendiendo
energy,
el movimiento de
understanding
la tierra,
the movement
de
of
la
the
luna,
earth, of the moon,
el movimiento
the
de los seres
movement
naturales,
of the natural
las
beings,
vidas.
the
Y por
lives.
eso los
And that's
mayas
why
llegaron a
Mayans
decir que
said
nosotros somos hermanos
that
de
we
la
are
naturaleza.
brothers and sisters
Somos
of
hermanos de un
nature.
árbol, somos
We are the
hermanos de
brothers and
unos
sisters of a tree,
Somos
of little
hermanos,
animals.
porque
We
somos
are
todos
brothers and
hijos
sisters
de la
because we
tierra.
are all
Y
children of
somos
the
una
earth.
especie
And we are
más.
a
Sí, en
mass.
pocas palabras, somos un bicho
In a few
más de
words,
los bichos que hay.
we are another creature among creatures.
Pero es el
And
bicho
that
más
creature
vulnerable
is the
del
most
ser humano.
vulnerable, the
Porque
human
el ser
being,
humano
because
es
human
más
beings
propicio
tend
a enfermarse.
more to get sick, are more vulnerable to sickness.
Es más
We
indefenso.
we are more
Porque el ser
defenseless
humano tiene
because
alma y tiene
human
espíritu.
beings have a spirit, have a
Entonces,
soul.
los
And that's
abuelos
why our
comprendieron
grandparents
exactamente
understood
que somos
precisely
hijos de la tierra
that we are children
y
of the earth
hijos de las energías
and children
cósmicas.
of the cosmic
Y el
energy.
día de hoy
And
es ese, y
today
por eso
is that
es un
day,
día de gran
and that's
y de
why
máxima
it's a
autoridad.
day of great
Y por eso,
authority,
pues,
and
felicito
that's
a los
why
señores cónsul,
I congratulate the consul,
primero el señor cónsul
first,
de Guatemala,
the
gracias
honorary
por estar aquí.
honorable consul of Guatemala,
Los
who
señores
is
cónsul
present,
de México,
and
de
honorary consuls
Honduras,
of
El
Mexico,
Salvador,
Honduras,
de
El Salvador,
Costa
Costa
Rica,
Rica
aquí,
is here,
y
and
todos los
all
amigos
our friends
y las autoridades de la universidad
and
y
the
las
authorities of
autoridades del
university
sector estudiantil
and the
y los
students
profesores,
and the
porque el
professors,
día de hoy
because
es nuestro día,
today is
los
our
guías,
day,
las autoridades,
the
los que
day
nos toca
of
jugar una
authority,
misión
of those of us
frente a la
who have
sociedad.
a mission in
Y ustedes,
society,
los estudiantes,
and you, the
los que nos
students,
toca elegir un
are the
camino
ones who have
para
to
el
choose
futuro.
a path to the future.
El mensaje que yo
And
quiero
the message I
traerles
want
es
to
que
give you is
cuando se habla
that
de los pueblos indígenas,
when we talk about indigenous
realmente
people,
se habla
we're really talking
en dos campos.
in two different
Uno
areas.
es la visión
One
teórica
is the
de los
theoric,
pueblos indígenas.
the theory of the
Y
mission,
buena parte de la visión teórica lo ha
and the
hecho
theory vision,
la
theoretical
Academia
vision,
Universal.
is done by the university,
hecho
by universal
a partir
academicians,
de la
and has been
antropología
done
social
through the
que
social
muchas pocas
typology
veces
that
existe
very
dentro de la
seldom
rama antropología social.
exist without
Los mayas,
social
los
anthropology.
chicas, los
Mayan,
garífunas, si
Chicas,
hablamos en Guatemala,
if we're talking about
pocas veces se
Guatemala,
encuentra en la antropología social
we rarely
los
see
aztecas, ¿verdad?
Aztecs,
Los
Incas in
sino
social
se hizo con una
anthropology,
visión exógeno.
but it was an exogenous
eso hay
vision,
tantos
and
enredos
that's why there's so much muddle
cuando se
around.
presentan a los pueblos
When
indígenas,
you talk about
que hay
indigenous
tantos
people,
estereotipos.
it's so confusing, and there's so many
Y nosotros,
stereotypes,
en primer
and
lugar,
we
hemos tenido que
had
sobrevivir
to
de los
survive
estereotipos.
the stereotypes,
Porque la
because
verdad es que los
the truth
estereotipos
is
nos
that
ponen como uniforme.
stereotype, kind
Nos
of a
ponen
uniform,
como
but
sombrero, nos
they
ponen
put
como
it's like a
zapatos,
hat
nos
we have
ponen
to wear,
como-
like shoes we
solo
have to
falta
wear.
que nos den como comida, ¿verdad?
And the last thing,
Afortunadamente nosotros
unfortunately,
no comemos eso.
we don't have to eat that.
Pero,
They don't feed us that. But
La visión teórica de los pueblos
the
indígenas
theoretical vision of indigenous people has harmed us because we had to hide our spirituality in order to survive that situation. And so I congratulate the strength of our civilization and the greatness. Another thing is life and practice. So the cosmovision is not something you have it in theory. The spiritual guides of Guatemalans, of Mayas, I am totally convinced that our cosmological vision cannot be written. You can only live it. And anybody can live it, wherever you are. When the day you can handle, you understand the Mayan calendar, you will see the strength and the luck that that calendar involves. We know that today, according to the cosmic energy, is the union of the cosmos and the strength of the earth. So, at least I get up knowing where the sun comes up to say thank you once more, to see the light and give me the strength, give me the energy so that today I will do things the right way. That conscience, that awareness creates a positive movement in humanity. And of course, if I were hanging for the clouds, I would be in trouble. Where I know I'm in the belly of Mother Earth, in the belly of Mother Earth where I'm standing, so I will know that my surroundings are feeding me. This is a practice of life. This is not a theory. It's something you live. And this is the theory and practice has to be combined. And I congratulate the advancement, especially in indigenous rights. We have the Universal Proclamation of Indigenous People. It has 46 articles. I don't know if you read them. I've been reading them it was my turn to be in Geneva when, for 14 years, to defend that text of universal rights of indigenous people. And finally it was approved. We have the 169 Convention, the agreement of the rights of the indigenous people of Guatemala. We have some recommendations from a number of international bodies, and we have also young lawyers who are practicing indigenous law and Western law. So we have many experiences, and we can nourish from them, and that's very valuable. But we also have a number of realities that are incompatible, and this is where I would like to invite all young attorneys so that when they do a philosophical, ideological understanding of the law, you should take into account that the practical experiences in communities such as Guatemala, Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador. I speak for Guatemala, where we have a wonderful program about practice of young alternatives, young Mayan lawyers, to see how they resolve the issues of the earth and existence in a community, collective and individual rights. But
Si eso es sobre los pueblos indígenas, que hay tanto, lo que nos toca
so much
es la práctica.
To say, so much has been written about indigenous people, but now is the time for action. We have to move forward in action, in the practical side. And I said, well, I never get involved in politics. I said that many times. I agree with half the planet that politics are dirty,
la política es solo para
are
ladrones y
just for thieves.
etcétera. Yo dije, no, hombre, ¿cómo voy a manchar mi honor?
But I said, I'm not going to stain my honor with that kind of stuff.
Me van a regañar mis ancestros.
My ancestors will be getting angry at me if I get involved in politics. But
Mientras que nosotros nos negamos
while
a tener una
if we
silla en el Congreso,
refuse to have
pueblos indígenas
to
nos
sit in
negamos
Congress,
a tener un
and
derecho,
we indigenous
es un
people,
derecho universal de la participación,
or we
de la
refuse to
libertad, de
participate,
la
which is a
coexistencia.
universal right for
Otros lo están
coexistence,
haciendo por nosotros.
others are
Y
doing
con
it in
razón.
our place.
Si ustedes me
If
dicen
you
a mí,
tell
todos
me
somos indefensos,
we are
y
all
no queremos hablar,
defenseless,
hable por nosotros,
we don't want to
yo
speak,
con
speak
mucho
for
gusto
us,
voy a hablar
I'll be
con
very happy
ustedes.
to speak for you.
Con mucho
I
gusto,
will
si
be
ustedes me dan las
delighted
facultades,
if you give me
yo voy
the
a
power.
vivir de ustedes, no solo
Yes,
voy a hablar de ustedes.
I will live off you. I won't only speak for you.
Entonces,
But
es lógico que a los pueblos
So,
indígenas se hable por
indigenous
ellos,
people,
se dice por
somebody
ellos,
should speak for
pero
them,
no somos
but
capaces de darle
we
una
are
silla
not
y decir, diga
able
tú lo que
to give
piensas,
them a seat and
y
tell them,
hágalo
you
tú,
say what
porque tú
you,
lo harías mejor.
because you would do
¿Cómo
it.
no lo vas a hacer mejor si sos de allí?
How could you not do
¿Verdad?
it if you're
Entonces, yo creo que la
local?
participación
So I think the participation
necesario.
is very necessary
Donde
after
quiera que
all,
estemos.
wherever we are. We
Así que de
indigenous
nuevo
people.
felicito
So
la
again,
comisión,
I congratulate
la
the
comisión de migrantes
committee
guatemaltecos,
of,
¿verdad?
of
que incluyó la
Guatemalan
presencia
immigrants
maya en
who
esa
included the Mayan
Qué
presence in
bueno,
their
ahora hay que
activities.
incluir a todos los hermanos
And now we
que
have
estén
to
organizados,
include all the brothers
porque
and
ningún
sisters who are
pueblo sale
organized,
adelante si no está
because
organizado.
no
Todos
people
tenemos
moves
que
ahead if
organizarnos
it's not
para poder
organized. We all have to get
estar juntos.
organized to
Bueno,
get
yo no
together.
sigo hablando
Well,
porque
I
quiero
don't want to
oír
talk
lo que
anymore
ustedes
because I want to
piensan,
hear
lo que
what
ustedes
your
dicen.
thoughts.
A mí
I
me
want to,
gustaría oír un par
I
de
would love to
preguntas.
hear a couple of
Lo
questions.
que sí
What
termino diciéndoles,
I want to finish telling
que
you is that
yo soy privilegiada,
I am privileged
privilegiada
privileged
porque
because
cuando quemaron vivo a mi
when
papá,
they burnt my father
yo
alive,
dije,
I
toda
said
la vida yo
my
voy a
entire
luchar contra
life,
la impunidad.
I will fight against
No un
impunity.
día, no dos
Not
días,
one day, not 2 days,
sino mi vida
but my entire
me voy a
life
dedicar
will be dedicated
no a la impunidad.
to say no to
Claro, esa
impunity.
lucha es
That
dura,
struggle is harsh
porque cambiar la
because
impunidad
changing
no es un tema
impunity
sencillo.
is not an easy matter.
Pasa por las leyes
If
obsoletas,
there are obsolete
las
laws,
normas que hicieron genocidio
there
en
are
Guatemala están
norms
vigentes.
that allow genocide
Los jueces que faltaron
judges
en el pasado están presentes.
that were missing in the
Sobre
past
todo
are
en
present.
Guatemala, que la
Particularly in
jubilación se
Guatemala,
da hasta los más de 70 años.
Where you only
Pues, algunos
retire
de los que
after 70, so we
participaron en
still
el
have those
genocidio
old
hace
judges,
apenas
those people who
unos 20
participated
años,
in
pues ahí
genocide
están
20 years
todavía
ago.
andando.
They are still
Y
there
esa es dura,
in their positions, and they are harsh.
pero también las
They are
leyes
inflexible, but the
siguen igual.
laws also have not changed.
Tanto que hablamos de derechos
We talk
indígenas,
so
en los
much
acuerdos
about
de paz,
indigenous
hasta yo me lo creí
rights and the
profundamente.
peace agreements. I myself
Porque yo
believed
dije, no
it
solo soy
because I
signataria
said
de
not
esos
only
acuerdos
I'm
de
a
paz,
signature of
sino
those
me voy a
peace
convertir
agreements,
en pionero
but
en
I will
impulsar
become a
esos acuerdos de
pioneer
paz.
to move them forward.
Y yo
But
hablé de la
and
paz
I
firme y
spoke
duradera
about
una
a
y una y
long-lasting
otra vez.
peace many
Y veía que
times,
no no muy
and I
convencía a la gente.
saw that people were not
¿verdad?
really all that persuaded, you know.
Pero como
but
yo tenía miedo a salir a las comunidades,
I was afraid to go out in the
porque allá
communities
todavía
because
quedaban los
over
restos de
there
militarización,
there were still
quedaba el tema
remains
de
of
las
military
exhumaciones. Yo he
power.
ayudado a hacer
People were being
220
exhumed.
exhumaciones
I helped
en Guatemala.
do 200,
Y hacer una
exhume
exhumación de una
200 people
fosa
in
común es
Guatemala,
lo más
and to exhume from a
duro
common grave
que
is the
puedes vivir
toughest,
como
most
ciudadano.
awful thing you can live through
Porque
as a
tenés que
citizen,
remover los huesos
because you have to move
de
the
los
bones
los difuntos
of the dead
y saber de qué
and to
murieron.
try to see
Gracias a
how
la
they
ADN,
died. And thanks to
gracias a la
DNA,
ADN,
thanks
que
to
hoy se puede
DNA that
determinar
nowadays we can
el grado
determine
de crueldad.
the degree of
murieron la gente.
cruelty with which these people were
Entonces,
killed.
me metí en todo
So
esto.
I got involved in this whole mess, this whole
Pero
thing. But
hasta la campaña pasada,
up to
las
the
elecciones pasadas, yo
past
dije, no,
elections,
ahora hay que
I
probar
said,
cómo es el agua.
we have to taste the waters now.
Ya sé que hay lagartos adentro.
I know there are lizards, I know it's dirty, but am I going to come out alive of this water or not? So
a las elecciones.
we went on to the
Y
elections,
eso me permitió
and
a
that
mí
enabled me
a llegar al
to
90% del territorio
reach
nacional.
90% of the
A llegar
national
físicamente.
territory. Physically, I was
Para
there.
mí fue una maravilla
To me,
recorrer
it was
Guatemala
wonderful to be able to go around
caballo,
Guatemala on horseback,
pie,
on
a
foot,
unos carritos que
in some
nadie lo jala más
little
que
carts
los humanos tienen que empujar
pulled
para
by
que
some
suban.
guy that has to push it to go up the hill.
Llegué a las áreas
And I
más,
went to the most remote
más abandonadas de Guatemala.
area and most neglected areas of Guatemala, and I was amazed at the level of hunger in the population. I was stunned by the level of chronic malnutrition in the population, and I was stunned by the low level of self-esteem of the people. People say, we're not going to win. We're not going to win. How could we win if those who win are those jerks?
Entonces,
So
es muy
it's
importante
very important
saber
to know
que los acuerdos de paz
that the peace
dicen
agreements
cosas maravillosas,
say wonderful things.
pero no
but
hicieron cosas maravillosas.
Wonderful things were not done.
No se hizo
We
obras
never had
que dignificara a la gente,
anything to dignify
que
people,
resarciera los daños causados.
to undo the damage
No se
caused.
hizo una nueva
A
oportunidad
new opportunity
para la
was
gente
not
más
created
humilde y más pobre
for
que
the
son los
humblest and
mayas.
poorest people, who are the Mayans.
Los Xincas, los garífonas,
The Xincas, the
ellos están
Garífonas,
allá
those are
en su
over
mismo
there,
lugar, más pobres que antes.
poorer than ever.
Entonces,
So
también nos toca
we
a vigilar
also have to
que no
be
solo se firmen
watchful.
acuerdos de
We
paz
have to, signing
hagan
peace
la bulla
agreements
del momento
and
y
all the
las- y los
hubbub
trajes de
of the
gala,
moment and the
sino
wonderful
tenemos que responder
dresses
a una
are not
que
enough.
necesita
We have to
vivir,
respond to a
que
population that
necesita
needs
ser
to
feliz.
be happy,
No
to
es
be
posible
to
aceptar
live,
que
and we
nuestros
cannot
niños
accept that
que
our
sufren
children
desnutrición
who are
crónica
suffering from chronic
se estén
malnutrition
matando
will
temprana
be
edad,
dying at an
que
early
ellos no
age
van a recuperar
because
el crecimiento normal de sus fuerzas vitales,
they will never
porque viven
have
la
their
desnutrición crónica.
vital strength because
No
of their
podemos
chronic
aceptar que
malnutrition.
las
We cannot
madres
accept
se
that
mueran
mothers
de
die
desnutrición
of
en un parto.
malnutrition
El
when
80,
delivering their babies.
90%, tal vez
80,
85% de la
85%
población
of the
mujer
female population in
siguen
Guatemala
naciendo sus hijos en la casa,
is still having
así como yo nací
delivering babies
en la
at home
casa en manos de
the
una
way I
comadrona.
deliver at home,
allá en Chile.
helped by a
La mayoría
midwife.
de nuestra gente sigue en las
Most
mismas
of our
condiciones.
people are in the same condition
Tenemos una causa
with
para
no
luchar.
medical assistance. So we have a
Tenemos que
cause
salir
to fight
adelante.
for.
Pero eso
We
solo
have to
estoy
move
hablando de
ahead.
Guatemala.
But I'm talking about
En los
Guatemala.
últimos tiempos, yo he
But
estado en Haití,
I have been in
he
Haiti
estado
recently.
ahora en El Salvador,
I have been
me
recently
impresiona,
in
y de
El
hecho felicito a
Salvador,
los
and I
salvadoreños.
congratulate Salvadorans.
El Salvador
El Salvador
nos está dando una
is giving
ejemplo
us
de unidad.
an example
El
of
Salvador
unity,
nos está dando
an
una
example,
oportunidad
an
de
opportunity
que
to
podamos hacer alianzas.
be able to do
Porque el
alliances,
triunfo en El Salvador no es el
because
triunfo
the triumph
de
in
un
El
grupo,
Salvador is
sino
not
es
the
el
triumph of a
triunfo de
group,
varios
but the triumph
expresiones
of several
democráticas de la sociedad.
expressions of democracy in society. And
Porque la gente también
because
está desesperada.
people are desperate.
Tenemos la violencia encima.
We also have
La
violence
violencia,
upon
todos
us.
dicen, ¿qué cree usted la
Everybody
causa de la
says, what do you
violencia?
think
Yo
is
les
the
digo,
cause of
"Usted
violence?"
tiene una semana
And I say, if you come here for a
para
week,
que yo le cuento uno por uno de
do you
las
have a
causas
whole
de la
week so I
violencia,
can tell you
¿verdad?
all the causes of violence?
Porque
Do you have
resumirla
the
en una
time?
sola palabra no es
But
posible. ¿Por qué? Porque
it's
la
not
gente se siente indefenso.
It is because people feel defenseless for many, many reasons, and that's why the struggle for
Esa lucha por la
peace
paz que tiene
is
que realmente
very
tocar los
important, the
problemas
struggle
que
for
hay, porque
peace,
si no,
because otherwise
es nada más una satisfacción
it's
de quienes
just
pueden
a satisfaction
decir kumbaya
of
por
those
la
who
paz,
can
pero
run
los que
around
no
saying
pueden se
kumbaya,
pegan,
kumbaya
¿verdad?
for peace, but then nothing happens.
Entonces,
So,
yo vengo a invitarlos
I
a
invite
trabajar.
you all to work. Finally, then there's a struggle to be undertaken for the planet. Climate change are affecting us in Guatemala, but they're affecting you here as well. They are affecting in Africa. They are affecting the entire world. We are being affected everywhere by climate change, by a loss of values, by the materialistic clock that spins and spins and takes us to the moon, but destroys the earth. We have a struggle ahead of us, and that's my invitation. Well, questions. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Otherwise, I will talk and talk and talk forever, but thank you very much.